Hi, everyone.
Oh, just a moment.
Oop,
Almost there.
I forget you give me cues.
Lights, camera, action, Diane.
All set to go.
All right. Thanks, James. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining our November meeting for the library. The first thing I'd like to do is welcome Beth Livingston. She's one of our newest trustees. For those that you can see, she's waving, and she has been appointed as one of the Republican town board members. So welcome.
Thank
and ask questions as we go along if you need them, and certainly reach out to any of us afterwards if you have more questions.
Thank you.
We will be sending out an updated list for the board members, but if you want to write this down quickly, her email address, and you can probably find it in the notes that are sent out, BethLivingston17@gmail.com. And again, that's already been in some of the distribution lists, so you'll be able to get a hold of her and she'll start getting all of those reports. So any of the other committee chairs, when they send out their reports, it would be nice to make sure that you've updated your mailing list if you use a regular mailing list. Okay. What time is it? I'm surprised that Lisa and Laurel are not on, or have I just missed them?
They are. They're here.
Oh, okay. I'm not seeing, oh, you know what? My whole screen is not showing. Oh, and I see Maureen and everybody else. Great. Okay. So Gail, would you like to do a roll call?
Yes, I would. Thank you. Okay. Anna Eddy.
Here.
Laurel Goodgen.
She's here.
Laurel's there. Okay. Judy. Is Judy there?
Here.
Laurel's here.
Okay. And Judy's there. Lisa Jones.
Here.
Pauline.
Yes.
Iris. Is Iris there?
Yes, she is, but she's still on mute.
Okay. All right. Beth Livingston, do you go by Beth or do you go by Elizabeth?
Beth, thank you.
Beth, okay. Maureen? I heard you say Maureen was there.
She is here. She's on mute.
Okay. Okay. Leanne?
Yeah, I'm here.
I heard Pam. I know Neil's not going to be there. Diane? Christine?
She's here. She's on mute.
Okay. Lisa Maston?
Here. Sorry, I'm here.
Karen Hi. Thanks, Christine. Karen Benner?
Karen is not here tonight, Gil.
Okay, thanks. Dave Nagel?
Here.
Chris Miner?
Here.
And is Sheila there from the Friends?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
She was earlier.
I did see
Yeah,
her.
but nobody else from the Friends,
Sheila's
just Sheila?
Sheila's
Yes.
here.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay,
Sure.
I thought I heard you count Judy as being here, but I don't see her in the list.
I thought I heard her say yes, but okay.
No,
She's
I
not
went-
there. Okay.
no.
Usually calls in, I don't see a number.
Right, that's what I was
Okay.
looking for.
This is Anna. I just want to mention to everybody as a reminder that if you're on mute and you're only going to say something real short, you can hold down the space bar and it will temporarily unmute you. So you don't have to struggle with turning it off and on.
That's a nice hint, Anna. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we've done a roll call and we can do public participation. James, I didn't see anyone from the public on.
Nope,
Can you
nobody on.
confirm that? All right, then we'll move right along onto Town Council Liaison. Dave, do you have any updates for
Yep,
us?
happy to have Beth finally approved to be a part of the library board. You're welcome. Yeah, the town facilities survey first draft is in the town manager's hands, and he's going through it, a lengthy process as we discussed last time, and we haven't come to be informed about anything particular in regards to the facilities at the library or anywhere even remotely close to any kind of order of importance or anything like that. So that is still on hold. And I believe that's it.
Okay, Chris, did you have anything you wanted to add in?
No, I think Dave covered everything for now.
All right, thank you both. Any questions for our town council?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Leanne.
It's more related to the, just in general town facilities. With the Anna Reynolds having been approved, is there a timeline?
That is, as far as I know, that is up to the Anna Reynolds renovation committee. And also it's dependent upon the state approving a grant for 50% of the amount. Because as you may remember, part of the referendum said that yes, it's 35 million, but that for going ahead, it was dependent on about half of that being reimbursed by the state through a grant. Otherwise, the procedure would not go through, and the Board of Ed would have to determine what they were going to do in the future, either come back with another referendum grant or find other ways to, in part, fix some elements of the school.
Thank
you. You're welcome.
Great. All right. Anyone else for town council?
They don't have that kind of support for libraries.
Whoops. Laurel, were you saying something to us?
No, sorry.
Okay. Secretary's report, Iris Larson. Iris, remember you can just put your hand on the space bar if you're on a laptop to unmute. We go.
I have no report.
All right, thanks, Iris. Okay, next we'll move on to approval of minutes. There was an updated copy of minutes that was sent out. Have people had a chance to read through that? Are there any corrections? Any questions? Going once, going twice? No? Then I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Move to accept the minutes.
This
Is
is
that
Anna. I'll
Laurel?
second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any in absentia? Okay, motion carries 100%. Thank you. Next is a review of the annual activities calendar, and that, of course, is becoming quite challenging. We're usually full of activities, and now most of our stuff is on hold. But traditionally, what we have reviewed and looked at for the month of November is in odd years, we start thinking about planning for the staff appreciation event that we have every other year for our staff. I think it's too early right now to determine if that, how and when we might be able to do those things. We would normally be having it in the fall of 2021. I just kind of wanted to put it out there that this upcoming year would be the year that we would do staff appreciation. One of the other things, we welcome the new town appointed council members. And so tonight that's Beth. Welcome. We're glad to have you on board. Sometimes we talk about the Friends book sale, and I know that they've been doing some creative things, and we'll let Sheila go through and tell us what's been going on from that end. And the other items that usually shows up in November is the Hanel or discussions there. And as you know, many of the public meetings have been put on hold until we can get our hands around this COVID virus. So that's actually the review of the annual activities calendar. Committee assignments were set out last month. And Beth, you and I will go through some of the committees and see where we can slide you in for support. Okay. One of the committees, you may or may not have been told this, but the PEP, planning, evaluation, and help me out, PEP, planning, evaluation, and process?
Policy.
Or policy, thank you.
Policy.
Right, so all new members go on that committee. when they start, just so that they can start to get on board with the policies and procedures. Okay, moving right along, we'll move to the treasurer's report with Leanne Mankey.
Okay, this month is a lot shorter. I'm very glad because last month's was very long and I apologize. I realized how long when I saw the minutes. We are in a place where we're doing pretty good. Considering the circumstances, I'm thrilled with the way the books look right now. We had a lot of support from the community and it really paid off with the Ready, Set, Go. And plus we had some private donations that have really come through for us. Our community does stand behind us, which is really great in these trying times. Our Santander checking account, which is the unrestricted funds, started the beginning of the month at $17,710.65. We received a donation from the Friends. You'll see this, and then you'll see outgoing monies. My understanding is the Friends did not have access to a credit card, so that they utilized ours. So what they did was give us a gift, basically a donation, and then we purchased the gifts that went to the library. So there's an in and out on the income and expenses, basically for the various collections and adult programs that you see, and there's more this month. So, or there was some in September, and now the remaining is here, and they reimbursed us with beginning of the month. We had some memorial donations, not the usual level. Those are down this year, way down actually. And then the Ready, Set, Go fundraiser, we got the balance of the checks, both the checks that came through the actual physical library and the online. We also paid the last of the insurance premiums that are due usually in the September, October range for our August, September renewals. So we are current through that. I am anticipating a large bill in the coming month. I am meeting with the accountant tomorrow morning to drop off the books and the files and the computer because we're on the hard drive. So I held on to it because of the Ready, Set, Go aspect. We had all these $10, we get an online check that would come in for $1,000, and it was 25 contributions. So they all have to be entered individually. And I didn't want to hold off and have that waiting for 6 weeks to enter all those. So we had filed for an extension. So we're all set with the IRS, and Dean will take care of it. We should have it done in the next couple weeks. Let's see. The ending balance was $21,515.90. The money market, which is with the Kingston account, it's generating very little, but it's not losing anything either. So we're at $106,964.69. And the Santander money market, which is what is relatively accessible, and we moved things in and out of that, only had a small interest earning of $7,996.25 for the balance. As of October 31st, all reimbursements are set, the restricted funds and unrestricted funds. The checking account includes actual receipts of the 2025K race that we got, which is sponsorships, which we in turn promoted at the Ready, Set, Go. I already talked about the Friends aspect of it. I haven't had any bills. I picked up a couple of things at the library today, but they're not reflected in the report, nothing earth-shattering. Some expenses and a couple of small donations, so they'll balance out. So we're basically about the same place. For the Ready, Set, Go fundraiser, our traditional donations, the into the library donations, were at $3,350. And the online donations totaled out to $2,001.33. The only expenses per se for the Ready, Set, Go was the postage, which was the delivery of the prizing, mailing them out. So it was a really inexpensive in terms of cost to run the program, at least the expenses that, for the board. I'm sure in time and otherwise to the library, it's a whole different thing, but in terms of cost, it was low. Just want to point out, Anna had given a very interesting synopsis of the the fundraising, and the differential that you see, she shows a higher amount for receipts. I just want to explain that. I credit the checks as they come in. Online keeps a portion of the check. So for example, if you donate $30, the actual receipted amount that the library get is $28.01. So that's where there's a differential between us for any online contributions, and it's apportioned on a percentage basis so that it's like 99 cents on a $10 contribution and goes up from there. So that's where our differences is. We're not running two different books. That's the difference. But I don't credit the expense because we don't pay it. It's taken out before we get it.
And can I just interject?
Sure.
Some people, when they made their donation, selected the option to cover the fee.
Yes.
So not every, so the deductions were not made on every single donation that was made. Just
That's
some of
true.
them.
That's true. I mean, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I would say probably maybe about half gave with, they covered the fee, and then the other half, like I said, it was 30. The one above it would be 30, and the next one would be 2801 because they didn't cover the fee. So whatever it was, people were very generous. So, but I just want to explain. So if you're comparing her numbers to mine, that's where your differences are.
Great, thanks for that clarification.
As I said, the insurance, we're all up to date, the filing, and the restricted, unrestricted funds based on October 31. Neil will talk about what's going on in the market, but we're still in pretty decent shape. And you can see the breakdown. If anybody has any questions, give me a call.
Great, thank you, Leanne. Does anyone have questions for Leanne? No, don't see any hands raised. Okay, next up is the library director's report with Lisa Maston. Lisa?
Hi, everyone. I guess the big news is that the library building is once again closed to the public. It was effective today. We had been open for 2 weeks, and we had been doing browsing by appointment, which people were really happy about. Many people just wanted to come in and look at the books themselves, touch the books. And that had been going well. There's still a lot of people preferred curbside because they still weren't comfortable coming into a public building, but it had all been working out well. But the biggest challenge that we're having in the community is the rise in the COVID rates. And after, the health director, Charles Brown, and the town manager spoke to us last week and asked us to go back to curbside. So we started that today. What we did do, we made some changes. Curbside is all day. We don't have any breaks anymore. So Monday through Thursday, it's from 10 until 6:30. Friday is 10 to 4:30, and Saturday is 9:30 to 12:30. You can get same day pickup, just as long as it's there's a 3-hour turnaround. So when people called, I was on the desk this morning at 10 o'clock, they could pick it up anytime after 1 until 6:30. So while there was disappointment today, when people found out they couldn't browse, they were very happy that they could pick up their items on the same day. So, we're giving them that. We're going to be looking at our scheduling again because, one of the things you need to do is try to limit the number of people in the building at the same time in case somebody gets sick, then you don't lose the whole staff or we don't all have to quarantine. So we're going to work on the rescheduling. So that's really what we were getting into the groove of having a greeter and letting people in, and we had gotten the whole building ready and it was all going well. And then on a dime, we had to switch back to this, but it's fine. And staff's doing well and patrons are pretty understanding overall. So that's good. And we're trying to give them more. So we're all, happy to be doing the same day and figuring out how we can do it with the staff that we have. We're continuing with virtual programming. We have a The new newsletter just came out, so you can look at that to see what's upcoming. There is a Facebook Live book sale tomorrow night, if anyone's interested. Deanna from Karma's Closet is going to be doing that with us, so that's something new and different that we're going to try. And we're actually starting to plan for January, February. We did something a little different this year with our newsletter. Normally we do November, December, January, but we only did 2 months because we just weren't sure, you know, where things were going to be. And this gives us a little bit more flexibility with programming too. So we, a new newsletter will go out at the end of December. Lynn Cayley's final day is Friday. Our new business manager is going to be Jen Hebert. She started, she's been training for the last month with Lynn, so that's been a really good thing, but she'll start a new position on Monday, next Monday. And then Dorothy Russell began her new job as head of collection management today. She was the circulation supervisor, so we're still in the process of filling 2 positions, circulation supervisor and Jen Hebert's former position, which was a digital services librarian. We're still going to be filling those positions. But ultimately, when we present our budget next year, there's going to still be 2 full-time openings that we're being asked to not fill. And I guess that's about it.
Lisa, I have to say, I love the flyers. I know it's a sad occasion that we're going back to curbside pickup only, but I think the way that your staff has rallied once again to see how we could improve services, even in the going back, I guess they're calling it the 2.1
Yeah, exactly.
rules as we go back to that. It's truly appreciated. And I think the flyers really help point out the information and make it clear to patrons if they're going on the website to check things out and what have you. So again, I think that was an excellent job.
Thank
It
you.
is a little disheartening. As you say, the staff had done a lot of work to get the library ready for the browsing appointments, and it was looking good. And it's better to be safe than sorry, but it is a shame. Does anyone else have questions or anything for Lisa?
No, Lisa, it's
Yes.
Maureen.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi. I just want to say thank you, and you know, you're like the good news, bad news bear, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
you know, you guys are doing a great job, and you certainly know how to roll with the punches.
Yeah, and I have a good staff. I mean, honestly, it comes down to that, and you know, a town manager he's supportive too. I mean, he's working with us all along as well, and you
Yeah.
and the friends and everybody. So it's all good that way.
It's the success is because of a concerted effort.
Yep, everybody in the town, you know, everybody who's involved with the town has been very supportive. So can't ask for more than that.
I'm asking for a vaccine, just let the record show.
I heard good news today. I don't know if you saw it on the news, but they've got
Yeah.
something that's 90% effective.
Yeah, the Pfizer.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah. So fingers crossed on that. Any other questions or comments for Lisa?
Just kudos. We're going out drinking after this. That's
Yeah.
unofficial business. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Karen Benner, I know she's not in. Do you have anything to report for the assistant director? Or pretty much the same information?
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty much the same. She's been doing a lot with the personnel end, and you know, we're just trying to make sure we know what we're doing when Lynn is gone, because I'm sure there's going to be stuff that we're going to not remember or not know how to do, and we'll panic. And of course, we're entering budget season just as she's leaving, so that should be interesting. But no, I don't have anything else to report for Karen.
Okay. All right. So next would be Friends of the Library. Sheila? Oh, Sheila, you have to either press your space bar or unmute yourself.
I thought I was. Hello?
There you go.
Okay.
The Friends have tried to do several different and unique fundraising situations. We had a mystery book sale for Halloween. We had a grab and go for the children's books, which was probably the most appreciated. We had a lot of feedback on that one, that they really liked doing that. Where we had one in the parking lot of Karma's Closet last Saturday. And we're going to try to do one more at the library next Saturday.
Good. Well, the weather's holding out for everybody, so that's one good thing if we need to be outside. Any questions for Sheila? No.
I
Okay.
have a question. Sheila, what's the status about collection of donations? Are you doing that or not?
Right now, we have no place to put them right now. The container is still packed.
Oh, okay.
So we
Just
really-
wanted to
yeah.
make sure and where your status was. Okay, thank you.
Leanne, I'm just going to add to that. We're not accepting donations because that the Friends can't really come in the building, and we would have to be the ones handling that, and we're just not going to do it right now. That's not to say it's not going to happen, but just currently we're not.
And it's more to process. If everybody else's den looks like mine, you've got lots of books that have been waiting to go back. So certainly understandable that it's not something we can handle right now. All right, any other questions for Sheila? No, all right, very good. We'll move on to the committee reports. Budget, Maureen?
I don't have anything to report.
Okay, it's early on.
I do have one comment regarding, Lisa's, your comment about the budget with Lynn not being there. I know it's going to be a challenge. Please don't be afraid to call on myself and Maureen and your chair, I believe, right?
No, I'm happy to do that. It was more, I'm actually talking about the software that you have to use to input it. Luckily, I'm married to an IT guy that uses it, but I'm sort of nervous about, I have done it before, but you know how you haven't had to do it, so then you kind of forget. But anyway, I'll figure it out.
I think the next time we have a staff appreciation, it's going to be only for Scott.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have to keep him happy because he's our
Put together our
unofficial.
plexiglass.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's done a lot for us over the years. Okay, if nothing else on budget, then we'll move forward to PEP, Planning, Evaluation, and Policy. Laurel?
Yes.
Echoing, I don't know.
We're getting a slight echo here.
Because of my PC's on.
Okay. We had passed out chapter 6 of the ACLB, and that's not working very well.
Hang on.
Okay. I wanted to point out a few key things on there that it's good to remind us of.
Mm-hmm.
The library board is ultimately responsible for long-range planning. The director carries out the plans, but the board is responsible for the planning. I thought that was a good reminder. And also, the library director motivates and leads the staff, and board members direct and lead only through the director. That can be a problem in some libraries. It isn't a problem here, but it's a good reminder also. And the single most important job of the library board is selecting the director. So
We've got the one we want.
excuse me?
We've got the one we want.
Yes, right. And as part of the PEP committee, the PEP committee also does works on the evaluation of the library director. And Lisa Jones has been working on revising the format that we will be using. Lisa, do you want to say anything about that?
Sure. I'm going to actually just shut down my PC so
Okay.
it doesn't, and I'll use Laurel's. Yes, the whole idea around the director's report and Lisa and Diane and there we go.
Thank
So
you.
Lisa, Diane, and Lisa M. and Diane and Laurel have received a copy of the actual draft of the evaluation. This was something that I had planned on having towards early. I think Lisa, when you and I talked about it, we were thinking about early September, and so it's a couple months late. But we're hoping to actually look at this in terms of being able to use the evaluation as a tool to help provide input to any library director's review. And it's based on kind of foundationally, not too much different than what you've had before, but it's foundationally based on customer service, community relations, organizational growth, administration and HR management, financial management, legal compliance, the trustees, the relationship with the board of trustees, and then professional development and professional relationships. And what the form does is it gives the kind of average performance, and then it gives the high and the low of that performance as well, so that you're able to have some benchmarks or some guideposts to say, well, if they're performing at a what I'll use the terms that we used in the evaluation, essentially in the essential column, then we should be able to know what that means. What does a library director do when they're having superior performance? So it just gives the benchmarks. It's not, and again, it's a draft. So I'm hoping that we can take a look at it. At least I know you've got a time going on. So, but hopefully we can look at it and we'll be able to get a good draft to the board and then be able to utilize it even as a kind of a litmus test, a pilot, so to speak. It's go around to see how it works. So that's the evaluation.
This is Leanne, I have a question. It's more ignorance on my part and confusion based on the last couple of years. When exactly is Lisa's evaluation due to the town?
Leanne, I'll answer that. I don't know yet.
Okay, because I know it used to be later in the spring and then it got moved back and I didn't know if we had a timeline.
Not yet. No, I don't have a timeline yet. I'm sorry.
I just didn't know if it had been hammered out.
No, not yet.
There is a process that I put together on how it would run through, and based on what I thought was some reasonable timeframes, it would take about 60 days for the board to do an evaluation, provide the feedback to Lisa, and then also allow time for Lisa to process and provide her input and feedback, and then go through and decide what the next steps were, whether that review goes to the town manager or where it goes. I think that those are things that we still need to talk through. So, but it's a start of doing that, but it was based on a 60-day time frame, as I said.
Great. For those of you that are used to seeing the reports that we had in the past, it was very hard to know how to grade or set up. And I think the work that Lisa has done not only does a better job of explaining what it is that we're trying to evaluate work performance on, but it also gives you a better idea, some definitions of the scale's been shortened to 1 to 5. What's a 1, what's a 3, what's a 5. So I'm very pleased with this draft and what we've seen. I've glanced at it a little bit. I haven't gone through it in detail, but I think it would be, this form in this format would be so much more helpful, especially for folks that are newer to the board. I remember my first year, I was like, I don't know. looks like everybody's happy, right? And so that's kind of hard to go through and see things, but I think this form really helps point it out. So we'll try to get it out to you guys quickly, so at least you can also see what's going on with the form and what's happening.
Yes, I agree with Diane that board members will have a clearer idea of what good looks like, what very good looks like, or whatever the terms are than we did before. I also wanted to announce that the PEP committee will be having a Zoom meeting, committee meeting in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. And I'll be sending out a memo. And thanks to Lisa, who's going to do the Zoom part.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, it's very handy.
So that's Lisa Jones, right?
That's correct, yes.
We're gonna have to start calling you LJ and
Yes.
LM and all these other things.
So that's it for the PEP committee report.
Thank you, Laurel. Any other questions for Laurel? Comments? No? Okay. Next up is investment committee, and Neil actually let me know this afternoon that he would not be able to make the meeting tonight. He did send out to folks the investment report, and let's see, I'm just going to read a little bit of what he said. He is planning to schedule a meeting with the investment committee and Dean probably sometime in December. Dean indicated that he could arrange a Zoom meeting. So it looks like Zoom is the way to go these days. And he's also scheduled to attend the Friends meeting this Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. But you have the written report from the investments and where we are on that. And I think, you know, as we've seen, it's been kind of a bumpy road throughout the year, but we're in everything for the long term. Is anybody?
Diane,
Go ahead.
Neil and I were in conversation with Dean regarding this, and that's exactly the case. Dean just suggested we get together in the next couple of weeks just to Zoom and to make sure that we're on track. He's not recommending anything drastic, just given the uncertainty of the times, whether it be election related or pandemic related or what have you. The decrease we had this month was primarily in the stock portfolio. And October was a tough ride.
We own any Pfizer?
We have mostly mutual funds, so there could be little bits of it.
Just teasing. Okay. Thank you for adding on to that. It's helpful. Just make sure the full committee is invited to that investment meeting. House.
We haven't set a date.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
House, Laurel?
Yes. The House Committee had a smaller entourage this year to have practice social distancing. It was exciting for me to be in the library because it's the first time I'd been in the building in months and months and months. And to see all the great work that the staff had done, that was the most impressive part for me of the tour. All the work, which I know Lisa's holding your head, which had to be undone then. But I thought the building looked very good, very clean. Lisa and the staff have taken advantage of the closing to get a lot of things done that would not be easy to do when the building was open to the public. And I think their work showed very well. The library looks a little more spacious because so many chairs have been tucked away. But we made another list. Lynn Cayley is the super list maker when we go through a walkthrough, and I haven't seen the latest list, but we did a very good job on last year. It's really the staff that gets those things done. And one of the big achievements of this year, so to speak, just ending, was getting the children's carpeting in. So I know Lisa has talked about putting in, this is Lisa Maston, carpeting for the main floor of the library as well as a CIP item, possibly. So that could go on our list. Certainly that's looking worn. Children's upholstery we noticed was looking worn. But on the whole, the building looks pretty good. Some of the bigger issues, which don't really show when you walk through, are, but I noticed in a recent report, the leaking of the skylight. So that's going to require major intervention. So that's, I will, when I get a copy of the walkthrough report, we will distribute it to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Maureen, you were one of the people that walked through. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, as you know, to echo Laurel's statement, it was great to be in the library. And it does look beautiful. It looks so beautiful. And one of my comments was, let's not ever open it again. Keep it clean.
Somebody was listening.
Oh, I apologize. But no, it looks great. And the staff as usual and Dave have done a great job. Our, you know, super little facilities manager there, you know, pseudo, seems to do a little bit of everything. And, you know, actually to segue right into facility inside, I don't have a formal report, but the building looks great. We still need space. And I'm anxious to see what the town manager and the council will come up with from the consultants' reports.
Yep. And this is Diane. I was one of the other people that was fortunate enough to do the walkthrough. And I agree, the library itself looks great. The staff has done a lot of work to do the touch-up items, but what impressed me more than anything else was the creative way that they taped off some of the furniture and turned things around so that it is still an attractive place to walk through. You don't feel like you know, that there's just orange tape and cones around everywhere trying to keep you safe for the COVID. So that's great. There are things like the skylight. We're still crowded in the staff areas, which is even scarier in this day and age. And, you know, when we walk around outside, we see a couple of things. We're still seeing, you know, roof tiles missing and things like that going on, you know, over the atrium and some of the other places. So it hasn't been an actual miracle, but it looks good. The plexiglass and tempered glass that have been put up in the areas look like they were put in very well to still allow patrons to go through and do things. So when we open up the next time, we'll be that much more prepared. But again, kudos to the staff for making it happen and still making it look incredibly beautiful when you come in. As you say, it's all been freshened, but it's just some of the things that they had to do. They still did it in a creative way. You know, they made flower arrangements to block off people, you know, reaching through. They have a creative way to tape off some of the furniture so it just doesn't look like a construction zone. So again, kudos to the staff for all that they did in preparing with that. And we're ready for the next time we open.
I have a question for facilities. This is Leanne.
Yes.
I just was wondering if, and I know this is way down the list, but I am one of those people who has running lists of things to be checked off. And one of the things that I'm still waiting for is the signed amendment to put into our records.
I can take that.
Okay.
So there has been communication or miscommunication between Gary and James, and it, you know, as I was reaching out saying, we don't have our copy yet, where is it, what's going on? It was in the middle of the sending out all of the ballots and doing everything else. So Gary and James promised me that once the election was over, they would sit down and figure out what it is that they need between the two of them so that the town clerk is comfortable signing them. My understanding is it's something about getting the engineered drawings signed off by the original architects because that's how it went in originally. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they've told me they're going to be working on that. So we're giving them a day or two to breathe and then we'll be following up.
Also for facility, as far as the grounds go, dead trees were replaced on the Hart Lane side of the building, specifically one property, I believe, Tatum's
15. Yes, that's
backyard.
the last trees to be put in when one of the large trees died this summer.
Yeah, we had the town planted trees and which was a great help to us because some of the neighbors were antsy. And then some of the trees died, 3 or 4 of them died. And the town apparently had made an arrangement that they would take care of that. So they did. So for the moment, everybody's happy. It looks good. And the parking, I know parking is still an issue, Lisa, right?
Yes, it is. It is. I think I think it's once they get the lot done in front of the new town hall, even, I don't know what it's called when they do I don't know. Keith told me, I didn't understand it. Is it binder, or I don't know what they.
Yep, the first layers.
Yeah, if they could get something done before the first real snow, I mean, that's their plan, I guess. But if they get, when we get parking, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right. But right now it's challenging because, the staff at the town hall, they have a lot less parking because of all the debris that when they took down the old building. So it is challenging, especially if you have multiple events going on at the same time. And I will say that on election day, it ended up being fine. We ended up really not doing, we strongly encourage people not to browse so they wouldn't have to park. But it turned out to be fine. And I think I told you last month, we're going to change our hours on the 19th. Really depends if we're open or not, but to accommodate the food that they give out, Human Services gives out on the 19th, because we know that parking is going to be challenging that day too. So we're just trying to be creative with certain events until we get the parking lot. And I think once we get it, it's going to be all good too that way.
So Lisa, I have a question.
Yes.
The back of the town hall, as we know it, or as it will be, where the police station is, that area, that's going to be the main entrance to the town hall? No?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and that's where all the new parking is going to be.
Yeah. One comment I had when we were doing our walkthrough, looking through our front doors outside, I was shocked at how close the building was, the new building. It's like, I just wasn't expecting it. It was like almost hitting you in the face. And I've seen those drawings 100 times. I didn't realize that was not the main entrance.
Right.
But it makes sense to have it where the police department is and everything.
Right. Yep.
And it's still nice to have doors that line up so that if you are going between the library and the town hall, it makes it easier to do that in all sorts of weather.
Well, it was easy for Lynn. Lynn said it was great because she goes back and forth. So Jen will probably appreciate it as well.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Any other items for facility and site or even house? No? All right. Thank you. Moving on, we'll go to fund development with Anna. Anna Eddy.
Hi. So I've been a little bit busy, and Neil and Lisa Jones have been helping me in the background. They're like my extra pair of eyes, make sure what I'm doing is semi-accurate. I'm glad Ready, Set, Go is over. I'm glad it was successful. We've got a good handle on it, and looking to those people to hopefully be future supporters for the library. I think we have a good base there. Looking to the future, we set the date for next year's race, and this is the time that we approach the sponsors for the race. So I'm working on letters that will, speak to that. We're still planning on it, but everything's up in the air kind of thing. On that same note, we're also starting to approach all the participants in the dining partner program, the 36 restaurants and the 16 donors, and we've got a bunch of new ones. So we've got close to 90 letters going out to restaurants, and I don't really expect to get the same kind of response that we got last year, but you never know. If we come up with another 36, I would be happy with that. And one of the things that we did in the latest footnotes that went out is that we included a flyer in there that reminded people about the Amazon Smile program. The Board of Trustees has an account, and so do the Friends of the Library. And on the flip side of that was a reminder for people about Giving Tuesday and to think about giving to the library's Legacy Society. And speaking about flyers, we have another flyer plan for the footnotes that will be going out at the end of December. And with that, I've neglected it. Back in early September, I spoke with Diane, and I attended an online workshop, and Neil attended it as well, and I know that Lisa Jones did. And it was $129 to listen to this 1 hour. It was an hour and a half workshop that was on bequest and how to promote bequest. And I have to say it was very well done. It was run by a man named Tom Ahern. And for those of you who've been on the board for a while, he's the husband of Simone Joyeux, who did some consulting work for us. And I thought it was well done. I got some really good ideas from it, and I'm trying to incorporate that. So I'd like to make a motion for the board to approve $129 expenditure to attend the workshop, which I already have done. So I think I need a second for that.
Yes,
I'll second that, Laura.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
And
Hold on,
oh,
let me
sorry.
finish it. Anyone opposed? No, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you very much.
I just have one point for reimbursement. Send me a copy of the bill.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And you know, next thing after this is to focus on the 5K sponsors and pray they come back.
Thank you. We're all hoping.
Anna,
Yes.
this is Maureen. Were you able to determine with the Ready, Set, Go donors that were first-time donors to the library?
No, we didn't go into that kind of detail. One of the things I should go back and do is to see who might have been a runner versus, and I think if I do that, who might have been a runner versus compare it to the list of people who donated, because the list isn't that big. And I think all of those people are targets for future donations.
I would concur. I did see that. I think sending it out through the footnotes exposed a different audience for that type of thing. And the way I had to enter the donations, like if I got a listing from the, I got the slips, copies of the slips. And also I had within the listings, I'd have one check from online, and that would have maybe say 25 names on it with their addresses and the amount they gave. I would easily say our half weren't in my database. So I had to, enter them as all new customers. And so I think we have some fresh interest. Yes.
Good.
Great.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, and the other thing that we're doing is, I'm sorry, I forgot one more thing. I'm working with Lisa Jones because she's now running communications. And I sent her a draft of a letter to thank all of the people who supported the Ready, Set, Go giveaway. And I'm going to be sending her a draft because she needed to know the specific. So the Ready, Set, Go giveaway is focusing on the 5K sponsors because we have not really given them that kind of newspaper promotion. And then the next one in December is going to thank all of the dining establishments that supported the 2020 Dining Partner Program and highlight all of their names. And like I said, I'm working with Lisa Jones on that.
Great.
And now I'm done.
Okay, any questions for Anna?
I have a question on the dining partners.
Go ahead,
Do
Maureen.
you get feedback from the establishments saying we're getting a lot of traffic?
We've asked a couple of them. It's kind of hard to say, like Chick-fil-A, they run several promotions simultaneously and they don't differentiate between them.
Okay.
What I can say to that is that when we first had the quarantine and everybody shut down, when we reopened, and I have to say thank you to Michelle Royer, because she's been a big staff support person, as well as Lisa and Karen. But Michelle made phone calls to the 36 dining partners, and all but one said, yep, we're still in. So
Oh, great.
they must like it. They're seeing something out of it. I'm not going to question it.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, next is nominations. Maureen?
Nothing at
Early
this
for that?
time.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Okay. Next up is communications with Lisa Jones.
Hi there again. So one of the things that I'm doing is trying to develop the communications committee. What's the scope and the objective of the communications committee, and then who would be engaged in some of those activities. So really, just to talk a little bit about what the work is the board-led, there's board-led communications, and those are things that are related to strategic, things that would happen for strategic planning, things that would go out to the town council, the board, other kinds of community events, things like that. So more strategic in nature. We're not trying to interfere with with what the library does today. They do a phenomenal job of communicating all the programming and the things that they're doing. What our focus will be is mostly on the things that will help promote the library, and then also, of course, the expansion as we move forward. So originally, we just need to get the communications committee grounded in what that means. What does all that mean? And then what are we going to be doing as a way to support that? So we did a constituent or a stakeholder analysis back in March, and we should review that again. So who are our stakeholders at this point in time? You know, who should we continue to reach out to? We're going to, as Anna mentioned, we will start to use all of these communications just to build awareness in the community of the activities that the library does and supports. So really focusing on that short term, but again, the long-term goals is really how do we get into the expansion. And then I think that how do we make sure that we as a board are also all of us in the know with all the things that are going on? And do we have, and we've talked about this before, an elevator speech? You know, how do we, if someone was to come up to you and say, you know, what's the library doing today? Would we all know what to say? Would we all have a common theme and a common message? So we're going to be working on some of those things. So ensuring that we have an effective communication and messaging campaign basically is really what we're going to focus on. So I just got information back from the people that are involved, and I think that we'll probably schedule a meeting either later this week or sometime mid next week. But if there's anyone that has any feedback and information that they'd like to share, I would be more than happy to have other folks joining us. So if I haven't reached out to you and it's something you're interested in, please let me know.
Great, thank you, Lisa. I know Chris, I think, has joined your Merry Band, and Pauline and Judy were on from the beginning. And
Yes.
again, it's a little bit different take. A few years ago, we didn't even have a communications committee. And then Iris and some of the others had started, and it was more of an offshoot from PEP. And we started some letter writing campaigns and things like that, which I think was great, and got a little bit more of the word out of what the library does. But I like the strategic focus that we have here going forward. And I think it is important for us to figure that out and start laying some of the groundwork for knowing, as you say, who our key stakeholders are and figuring out how we can get the word out and the important information about who we are, what we do, and what we need to continue to support our growing community and changing community. So I thank you for that. And I strongly encourage anyone else who is interested in participating or helping to let Lisa know. I'm sure she'll have other folks on there. Does anyone have questions for Lisa Jones at this point?
Diane, it's Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Hi. I just, my question is more overall, even for both Lisas. With the ever-changing things that are going on, we're open, then we're shut, and now we're offering. And I know Lisa did a great flyer. Is there anything going in publications with this information?
Some of it is. I mean, sometimes it really is, it doesn't always get printed. If you're talking about print publications.
Yeah.
And some of the information is so fluid that to wait a week, that's why we've been trying to use like our website and social media more for that. But yes, you do try, it doesn't always get in.
Yeah. I know.
This is Gail. This is Gail. Can you hear? Can you hear me? This is Gail. You guys were on 5 o'clock news tonight on Channel 30 saying about how you're closing.
Well, yeah, I knew that.
That's really positive. That's kind of not what I meant, but no, I know that some of our patrons are on, that don't use social media or whatnot. I just didn't know what the policy of the town was as far as getting out the word that,
Well, I know, the town does press releases as well, and I believe they're going to be doing one soon about everything that's happening within the town. But, we do submit them to the crier but the crier is now online only as well. And Newington Life is once a month, and then the rest would be Rare Reminder. And maybe I don't know if the Current would put it out. You could maybe get it online at the Current too, but.
But what about the scroll on NCTV?
True, that's a good point.
Because I'm not sure what the turnaround is, because it's all volunteers as well, but you have something, it probably isn't the week turnaround that say an article submission is.
Right, no, that's a good point.
I just wondered,
Good question.
Anyone else? No? Okay. We'll move on to old business, open board positions. I'm happy to say there's one less. I do know that there is a candidate that Laurel and I will be talking to see if they truly are a candidate or not, if they're truly interested. So we're given a name and we'll try to flesh that out to see what happens there. So hopefully we'll have some positive news on that. Again, I just encourage, if folks know, we've got one Republican town appointee position still open and one corporate position open. So of course it's a corporate position that Laurel and I would be talking to the potential members there. So if you have anybody that's interested, please let Laurel know. And then other than that, I would move on to the Town of Newington 150th anniversary. Does anybody know how planning's going with that? I know, Leanne, you usually give us an update on the Afghans and the lawyer. I know he's going to try to express something.
Nothing has changed in my thing, but again, I'm not on the 150th. I haven't heard anything, to be honest with you. I haven't really been, I've had other things on my plate. I haven't paid attention this month.
That's fine. And the Afghans, usually we talk about that here.
I had talked to the attorney and he is supposedly working on it.
Okay.
Again, because he's doing this pro bono for Education Foundation. I am nudging him that, we need to think outside the box and come up with new and different ways for fundraising. He's aware of it, but I think because it is, lower down, it's lower down on his pile, so to speak.
Great. Okay. It's in his B or C pile, not his A pile.
That's right.
Diane, Dave has his hand raised.
Dave, do you have anything to add for the 150th?
Since I know some people who are actively on that committee, the calendar for the 150th has been printed. It's being sold. It was a special event to pick them up this last Saturday. And I'm sure they've got more and would be willing to sell them to anyone if they contact the 150th, or they might go through me and I can tell my wife who's on the 150th, and they willingly can pick one up. It's very nice. And it's for next year, and I believe the price is $15, which goes to the committee.
Bless you.
Bless you, whoever.
Thank you. Sorry.
I picked, this is Maureen. I picked my calendars up on Saturday. And it was kind of a very smooth operation. Little drive through.
Do you,
Is there a
the
website?
link on the website? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the website to order them and all the information.
Great. Okay, any other information or questions about the 150th? No? All right. We'll move on. New business. We don't have any new business here at this point. Public participation. James, did anybody else join from the public?
Nobody else has joined us.
All right. Then this is the time where I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Before you do that, Diane, I missed a couple of minutes in the beginning of the meeting. This is Maureen. Did we formally welcome Beth and say hello?
We did. Would you like to welcome her again?
Hi, Beth. Maureen Lyons.
Hi.
When all this stuff is over, hopefully we'll all be able to get together in person and welcome you differently. But if you need anything or have any questions, every single one of us is certainly
Thank you
available.
very much. No, it's a pleasure to be here. And I was very, very active in town as a volunteer for many years. Then 6 years ago, I took a full-time job, and I haven't been very apparent in the community in terms of my service, but I'm pleased to be here. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
Chris Shushan, for putting my name forward.
That's right, Chris. Thank you. We appreciate that. So Beth, welcome. Again, if you have questions, reach out to any of us. I'm happy to review anything with you. I know you went through your orientation with Lisa. Fortunately, you are familiar with the library and familiar with the town, so hopefully you won't be too overwhelmed with all that information. But
Nope,
we're very pleased to have you on board with us now.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. This is Leanne.
Second?
This is Pam.
You second. Thank you, Pam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There's never anybody opposed. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. Pam, I hope all goes smoothly for your family. And
Yeah, wish your husband well for us.
I will.
And
Yes.
good luck, James, with your furnace.
That's right.
All fixed.
Wrong fix, that's great. Just in time, because I think it's going to get cold in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Our next meeting is in December, the second Monday. How come I don't have that date?
The 14th.
Thank you, December 14th. So I'm sure it'll be another Zoom meeting, and I thank you all. And I think that's it for now. So good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, happy
Thanks.
Thanksgiving, yes. Such as it is.
Yeah.
Right.
In your own little kitchen.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Night. Good night, all.